Well, welcome back to 42nd Street Pete's Grindhouse, and like I said, we're going to do some more promotional stuff here. These are press books. These were sent out in advance of the movies so that the theaters could basically order one-sheets, whatever they needed from them. This is a full one here of the Mad Doctor of Blood Island, which gives you all this wonderful thing. You know, you get the rights of the green blood and all the other stuff here. You know, just a whole package of stuff that went with the movie. Now, here's one that's interesting. This is Magnificent Seven Ride press book, and this is from Japan. So, of course, we're not going to understand the fucking word that's written here, but, you know, they got all the pictures of whatever, the seven, and, you know, we go and there's Van Cleef, and this was probably the weakest, unfortunately, of the series, simply because the budget was shitty. And from what I understand, Lee wasn't doing that good. So, yeah. This is a Japanese press book, as you can see by the writing. Here's something very rare here. They used to use stills also. This is an original still from Night of the Living Dead, 1968 is the date on it, plus a film strip. So, this one's extremely rare, and I have no intention of getting rid of this. Here's another press manual, Tentacles. Probably one of the slowest moving killer octopus movies ever made, but it always had the publicity in there and things. John Huston, Shelley Winters, Bo Hopkins. Here's the ad mats for it and things. You know, it just gave a ton of stuff in here you could order, so tons of ad mats and stuff that you can get through there. Another one, Savage Sisters. Shot in the Philippines with our buddies Sid Haig, John Ashley, Sherry Cafaro. Here's all the press stuff on it. There's Sid down there. There's the bandit, Django. Or was he Django? I don't know what he was. I don't think he was Django. But anyway, you know, different ads for the film, different posters and things you could put up. You know, all kinds of cool stuff. And here's another spaghetti-type Western, actually blaxploitation spaghetti Western with Jim Brown, Lee Van Cleef, Fred Williamson, Jim Kelly, Catherine Spock, and Barry Sullivan. Take a Hard Ride, shot in the Canary Islands. Again, you know, more mats, more ads, different things, different ad mats to choose from, publicity stuff. Yeah, all kinds of good stuff in here. This wasn't really a bad movie, actually. Pretty good. And, of course, you know, our X-rated people would get involved in this, and I'm not about to open this thing, but now here's one example of an X-rated press book. They teased the pants off an entire town. Bad Girls 2. And here's another one. Desires Within Young Girls, which, again, I'm not going to open this press book. We'll go to Jim Brown, Escape from Devil's Island press book. I think this film's in moratorium too. It was on Shout Factory or something. But Jim Brown and Christopher George, Escaping from Devil's Island. An original Night of the Living Dead press book. Actually part of one, but you know, you see pretty much the ad mats and things like that. And of course, the publicity inside. I only got one page of this, unfortunately. These things are extremely rare and extremely hard to find. Here's another one from the 50s. Bert I. Gordon's The Cyclops and Daughter of Dr. Jekyll. Here's the opening thing in there. More ad mats. Publicity here. Different shots of how, you know, the Cyclops posters are. And a whole different slant on the back. This one's only like 4 pages. And here's a grisly avalanche, triple avalanche of grisly horror from Europix. Let's see, Orgy of the Living Dead. Fangs of the Living Dead, I think was in this thing. Let me see, open it up here. Revenge of the Living Dead, Curse of the Living Dead, and Fangs of the Living Dead. And you got some kind of, if you have a nervous breakdown watching it, as you can see by this poor bastard in the corner here, he had a nervous breakdown and was committed, but they paid for it. Yeah, sure they did. Another film I really love, Castle Keep, sort of a psychedelic war film from the 70s with Burt Lancaster, Peter Falk, Scott Wilson, Tony Bill, Al Friedman Jr., and Bruce Dern. This one I really enjoyed. Really good, you know, offbeat war movie. There's some publicity there. You know, some reviews on it, things like that. But yeah, I really enjoyed this. Saw it in the Embassy Theater. It just reminds me of the psychedelic days going into the 70s and stuff. And Sam Peckinpah's Convoy. One of his last films, unfortunately, with Chris Christopherson and Ali MacGraw, and Ernest Borgnine is Dirty Lyle and Burt Young. And you got all the different ad mats in here, different poster. I don't have to get any publicity, probably in the back here. Yeah, there we go with the publicity thing, confronting the dilemma of the... This was the whole thing when the national speed limit was reduced to 55 and sort of fucked the truckers up and shit like that. There was like a whole weird subculture of this with these trucker movies and CBs and shit, and of course, yours truly was an asshole with the CB in his truck too, so I wasn't immune to that. Another really brutal movie here, The Hunting Party. You know, with Oliver Reed, Mitchell Ryan, Gene Hackman, Candice Bergen, L.Q. Jones. Honestly, this one's hard to watch even today. Really heavy-duty violence, inspired by, I guess, The Wild Bunch, but didn't come close. Sort of a buzz killer because all the sympathetic characters get wiped out by the end. Another favorite of mine, The Corrupt Ones from the 60s. Again, saw this at the Embassy Theater. You know, tons of publicity stuff in here. They were really heavy duty on this because this was released by Warner Brothers. So they didn't spare any expense, but the weird part is you can't find this damn film anywhere. Important notice to the exhibitors of The Corrupt Ones. All persons utilizing advertising or posters for The Corrupt Ones are required to use the correct billing and credits pertaining to this film. Okay, we do that. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff in here. This one's really thick, which, you know, I mean, here's a part of it that just fell out there. I mean, these are old and they're falling apart and shit, but, you know, here's your publicity in there. Corrupt Ones explodes with action, thrill, suspense, and romance. And it did. It's really a fucking shame, though, that this thing is not available anywhere. It's on YouTube, maybe off a VHS rip. But I just bought a really pristine one from Germany that's all regions, so it was cool. Another brutal film with Candice Bergen, a la the Hunting Party, was Soldier Blue. The Indian Massacre, Donald Pleasance is in there. This one's another one that's really fucking hard to watch, directed by Ralph Nelson. You know, it's I believe it's the Sioux Massacre or something like that. They wiped out the whole village, and they don't shy away. And this is like really rough stuff as far as you know, the uncut version's out now. So yeah. Soldier Blue, actually the most savage film in history, well, close to it. And here's one I actually went down and saw the damn premiere of this in Newark at the Paramount Theater. Frozen Dead and It. Weirdly, the Frozen Dead was in black and white and it was in color, but then when it was shown on TV, the Frozen Dead was in color. Go figure. That's another weird-ass movie that hasn't shown up yet with frozen Nazis and a golem and stuff. So, yeah, this got publicity material. Roddy McDowall was in it. Cool stuff. The Frozen Dead, horror herald for a big sell. They always push this stuff heavy. And then back to, interestingly enough, Mr. Ugly Comes to Town and explodes. That action explodes in The Big Gun Down with Lee Van Cleef and Thomas Milan. Oddly, I just saw a couple different trailers for The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and it's weird because in one or two of the trailers, Lee Van Cleef is the ugly, and other ones, Eli Wallach is the ugly. But the thing with this one was, this was shot in between for a few dollars more, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So that's when Lee started getting work over there, and you can see they have a whole bunch of stuff going on, and they also... Mr. Ugly Comes to Town. They were saying one of the things in here is like, I'm trying to think if they actually printed, something about have a Mr. Ugly contest or something, which is, you know, not really very complimentary to Mr. Van Cleef. Stunts, let me see, a 50-word writing contest, have entrants completing phrases such as I want to see Mr. Ugly in, and other things. Yeah, this is how they really used to promote shit back then. And another Lee Van Cleef one, The Big Bad Man's River. This was when spaghetti westerns started fading into comedy, unfortunately. Gina Lollobrigida, James Mason is in this. This was sort of, you got the synopsis and everything, the King Gang, different shots and different ad mats and stuff, but sadly this one wasn't as good as anything he's done previously because of the comedy influence. And last but not least, It's Alive. The Larry Cohen Killer Baby movie that was really good and led to 2 more sequels. You got all kinds of stuff in here. A lot of stuff to read, but then we get into It's Alive. So, yeah, that's the last of our press books for today. I guess we're going to have another episode with ad mats. So until then, stay safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.